This evening I want to talk about soy curls. I've had a number of people, I say, have you ever tried soy curls? And they said, I have some in my refrigerator, I have some in my cupboard, but I don't know what to do with them. So I've chosen this evening to do two recipes, but talk about how to reconstitute, how to make soy curls really, really good. So when you get them, they'll be in an 8-ounce bag. I buy it by the bulk, and so I've packaged these, but it'll say soy curls on the outside of it, and they're dehydrated. All it is soy, and you can see they're crunchy. So you can do anything with it. This is a really bland tasting product, and so whatever you add to it is the flavor it's going to take. So the first recipe I want to do with this tonight is a loaf that I've taken, a favorite that's been around for a very long time. Some people call it a burger loaf. Some people call it a ketchup loaf. And instead of the burger that was in that loaf, I have put soy curls. I've also made it plant-based with a plant-based cheese and a plant-based egg, and I prefer gluten-free, so I'm going to use a gluten-free cracker in it. The best way to rehydrate, I like to take boiling water and pour it over top of my dry. So I started with this package of dry, and I added some of my herb seasoning to the top of it, and then I poured boiling water over, and this one's been sitting for over an hour. But 15, 20 minutes, I'll do it. Now you can see these have rehydrated, and it's pretty good size. The second recipe will do, it'll look a little bit like chicken fingers, but for this recipe, we want more of a crumble. We want more of a burger type. So we're going to take and throw it in the blender. You could also use a food processor, and I think I'll get the best results if I do half of this at a time. So let's quick throw it in here. I'm going to just pulse it, I think. The first time I did this, I had some bigger pieces in it. My family said they liked the texture of the bigger pieces. So if you have a few extra bigger pieces, it's not going to hurt a thing. I'm going to start adding some of this. Maybe a little less this time and see if that works better. When plan A doesn't work, try plan B. That came out just the way we want it. Okay, so now we've made our soy into burger. And we can start adding our other ingredients. We'll put the recipe in the link below for those of you that would like to have the recipe.
So that was just boiling water. So you have
That was boiling water with a little bit of herbamare on top of it. Okay. Yep. Good question. Herbamere I have been getting. It is available at Health Foods Unlimited. It is available on Amazon. So we've got a little bit of texture in there. The next thing I'm going to add, let me put my recipe over here so I make sure I get everything in it, is I've chopped up a large onion. I'm going to pitch that in there. I want a cup of breadcrumbs. Now again, I've chosen to do a gluten-free. So I'm going to make some cracker crumbs out of, and I've chosen these crackers, the entertainment, what are they calling it? Entertainment crackers? Mm-hmm. All right. That's about a cup. Give or take a little. Okay, so we've got our breadcrumbs. What's that?
We don't worry about these exact.
No. Chemistry lab's down the hall. I have margarine, and the margarine I'm using is the Earth Balance vegan, and I've used 1 stick, and I've melted it, and we're going to pour that in. And my egg replacer, I really like Just Egg. You'll find it in the refrigerator section, usually the top shelf above the eggs. I find it at Kroger's, Whole Foods. Yeah, you would have laughed at me at Whole Foods because I'm reaching up there and I'm kind of flicking it off the side and bringing it down because it's way up too high. Now my recipe calls for 6 ounces and this is 12 ounces, but oftentimes I'll use the whole bottle and I'm not sure it's necessary. I'll make the rest of this into an omelet tomorrow morning with some fresh kale from the garden and some onions and some peppers. Okay, so I've got onion in here, I've got the breadcrumbs, I have the margarine, I have the soy curls. We're going to do about a cup. This is my favorite shredded dairy-free cheese at the moment. This one's a Colby Jack shred, about a cup of that. That in that size, BioLife is at Kroger's, but the bigger ones are at Costco right now, and they keep going between, sometimes it's, this one was Colby Jack shred. Right now they have a Mexican blend. Sometimes they have a mozzarella. It all depends upon whatever. I'm going to put in 2 packages of the onion soup. This one happens to be the Lipton, but I did find an onion soup mix dip at Aldi's the other day. So that was what was in the one we tested. I think so. I'm going to hand it to somebody else because the writing's too small for me. So 2 packages of, and the recipe calls for some garlic powder. I don't know, let's see if I've got some garlic powder in here. Garlic powder in my magic bag. And that's it. Not, have to look for a gluten-free one. Yep, that's, depends upon, yep. So now we're going to take and put this in a dish, and if we could get the dish out of the bottom of that bag, then I'm going to show you how to top it. Yeah, this will make twice as much of that dish. Yeah, just take the foil off of it. We're going to reuse a dish. I'm going to smooth it out. I'm going to take this pan right here, and I'm going to mix up a half a cup of ketchup and equal parts. The original recipe calls for half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of water, and half a cup of ketchup. Well, I decided I really don't want the brown sugar. I would rather have the maple syrup, but maple syrup's liquid. So I didn't add water to it. So I'm just going to add half a cup of maple syrup, give it a stir. And that's what you top it with. Bake it at 350 for an hour. And we'll ask Alex to make some magic in the video and show you what the end result looks like. All right, again, we're starting with the dry soy curls. And remember, they're dehydrated. All they are is soy. They're nice and crispy. They come in an 8-ounce bag. They will take on any flavor that you want them to take on. Let me talk just a second about, we really enjoy at our house when we make an Asian haystack to rehydrate them with some General Tso's sauce. And so that's one thing you can do with it. You can make tacos out of them. But this recipe I'm going to show you is vegan air-fried southern fried chicken with soy curls. So I have taken this 8 ounces of soy curls. The recipe actually calls for 4 ounces, but I wanted to make enough, so I'm going to make a double batch. And soy curls, again, take on the flavor that you add. So I always add some kind of seasoning to my soy curls before I pour the boiling water on them. This time I've used Herbamere. It's called herb sea salt. I've used my homemade chicken seasoning to add to it. When I do the General Tso's, I do a little chicken seasoning and I do a little of this and then pour the boiling water on it and then add this later to get more flavor. So you want that flavor to absorb into that soy curl. So when I did this, I did a little bit of the Herbamere, and then I poured the boiling water over it, and you can see that it absorbed all the water, and they're nice. There's some strips in here, and that's really what we want. The soy curls tend to, the flaky, broken pieces tend to go to the bottom, and on top are the bigger pieces oftentimes when you get it. So the batter we want for this is a little moist, so this will stick. 1/4 of a cup of cornmeal, and I like a fine cornmeal. This happens to be the Pam brand which is a pre-cooked white cornmeal. There's also a whole grain one. The recipe calls actually for a fine ground cornmeal, and this was the finest grind that I had. Now a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, and I'm actually making a little more because we have twice as much. The original recipe calls for poultry seasoning. And it also calls for a Cajun seasoning. I did not have a Cajun seasoning, so I'm going to add just a tad of cayenne pepper. Poultry seasoning is a teaspoon. And so I did a teaspoon of poultry, just a sprinkle of cayenne to give it that. And then instead of the Cajun, I'm going to add a little more of the herb seasoning. We're going to put this in the air fryer. Just coat it really good. I'll show you our air fryer here in just a second. I'm going to use the pan underneath it because we are going to have some crumbs fall through. I want to try to get them as single layer as possible. And we're going to throw it in the air fryer. We're going to put it in the air fryer for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm sorry, 5 minutes, 380. So there's so many different things that you can do with a soy curl. This is kind of a crispy, like a chicken finger. I liked it with a homemade tartar sauce. Again, we talked about General Tso's. You can make tacos. I actually went online and found so many different that I actually made myself a book of different soy curl recipes. There's a vegan grit bowl with barbecue soy sauce. Soy curls are awesome as a barbecue sandwich. So soy curls are as versatile as you are creative. I'd love to hear how you take your soy curls to the next level. Have a great day.